When you came into this world, you arrived with nothing but a breath, and when you leave, you will take nothing but a breath. Yet, in between these two breaths, you try to own, you try to control, you try to conquer. Life is not a straight road. It bends, it breaks, it heals, it surprises. Sometimes it gives you 1,000 reasons to smile. Sometimes it tears you apart without explanation. This journey, it does not ask for your permission. It simply unfolds. What you call success, what you call failure, what you call joy, what you call pain, these are not destinations. They are simply experiences, and the beauty of experience is not in possessing it, but in living it fully. The journey of life will strip you of your illusions. It will show you how fragile your plans are, how temporary your attachments are, how fleeting your moments are. Yet in that fragility lies the deepest strength, because when everything else falls away, you begin to see the truth of who you are, not a role, not a name, not an achievement, but life itself. There will be times when words are not enough, times when a sunrise steals your voice, when a loss leaves you hollow, when love makes you tremble. In those moments, the journey makes you speechless, not because there is nothing to say, but because no words can contain it. If you walk with awareness, every step becomes a revelation. The laughter of a child, the silence of a night sky, even the tears that burn your face, everything becomes a teaching. Life is not here to entertain you, it is here to awaken you. And when it awakens you, when you truly see, when you realize that every joy and every sorrow is just a wave rising and falling in the vastness of your being, that is when life leaves you utterly speechless. So, do not rush through this journey. Do not try to reach somewhere else. There is nowhere else to go. The miracle is already here. The only question is, will you be present enough to witness it? Life is not about reaching a destination, but about experiencing the journey fully. When we look at how most people approach life, there is always a race to get somewhere. From childhood, we are told that life is a ladder. Go to school, get good grades, find a career, earn money, build a family, and one day sit back to enjoy the fruits of all this striving. The entire structure of society has conditioned us to believe that the purpose of life lies at the end of the road, that fulfillment is waiting somewhere in the future, that joy will arrive once all tasks are completed. But if you pay attention, life has never been in the future. It has always been in this moment, happening right now, breath by breath. When you reduce life to a destination, you unknowingly become blind to the journey itself. The colors of the sunset go unnoticed because you are too busy chasing the sunrise of tomorrow. The laughter of your loved ones fades into the background because your mind is already planning the next achievement. The taste of food, the rhythm of music, the fragrance of flowers, the depth of silence, all these everyday wonders pass by unnoticed. You keep rushing forward as if there is a grand reward waiting at the finish line, but the finish line of life is death. If all that matters is the destination, then your final prize is only that. The richness of life is not in reaching the end, but in the countless steps that make up the path. Look at nature. It never hurries. A tree does not rush to bear fruit. It grows patiently, season by season. Rivers do not rush to reach the ocean. They dance, they bend, they nourish the land as they flow. Flowers do not bloom with the anxiety of how long they will last. They simply open, spread fragrance, and exist in fullness while they can. But human beings, with their restless minds, are always trying to jump to what is next. In this endless race, you forget that the journey itself is the essence of life. Every moment carries its own value, but you can see it only if you are present. Think of all the so-called small experiences: the smile of a stranger, the coolness of rain on your skin, the calm that comes when you sit in silence, the joy of sharing a meal, the relief after hard work, the warmth of a hug. These are not small at all, these are life itself. The tragedy is that most people ignore them because they seem ordinary, while their eyes remain fixed on some extraordinary moment in the future. But the truth is, there is nothing more extraordinary than what is happening right now. Even pain and difficulty are part of this richness. A journey that has only smooth roads teaches you nothing. It is the broken paths, the unexpected turns, the storms, and the detours that shape you, that make you see who you really are. A person who has never tasted loss cannot truly value love. A person who has never struggled cannot truly savor peace. These challenges are not interruptions of your life, they are your life. When you treat them as obstacles on the way to some ideal destination, you miss the depth they bring. The obsession with destinations also creates constant dissatisfaction. You achieve something, and the joy lasts only for a short time before you set your eyes on the next goal. You tell yourself, once I have this, I will be happy. But the cycle never ends. Each new destination leaves you hungry for another. This hunger is not because life is lacking. It is because you are not fully present for the journey. Happiness does not come from what you reach, but from how deeply you are engaged in the step you are taking right now. The mind always thinks in terms of destinations, where you must go, what you must have, who you must become. But life itself is never in the future, it is unfolding now. If you sit by a river and truly watch it flow, you will realize it has no hurry to reach the sea. Each curve, each ripple, each reflection of light is complete in itself. The river does not postpone its joy until the end. It lives its fullness in every stretch of its journey. Similarly, when you walk with awareness, every step becomes a fulfillment in itself. You are not walking to arrive somewhere else. You are simply walking. You are not listening to music to finish the song. You are listening to be absorbed in it. You are not breathing to survive another day. You are breathing because each breath is life. This shift from destination to journey changes everything. Life stops being a race and becomes a dance. It stops being a burden and becomes a gift. To experience the journey fully is to live in such a way that each moment reveals its own depth. It means noticing the subtleties that are always present but often ignored. The softness of the morning air, the way light filters through leaves, the texture of food as it touches your tongue, the silence between words in a conversation, the beating of your own heart. These are not insignificant details, they are the very fabric of existence. When you begin to live this way, you no longer measure your life by how far you have gone or how much you have achieved. You measure it by how alive you are in this moment. And aliveness does not wait for a destination. It happens only when you give yourself fully to the journey that is unfolding right now. Joy and sorrow are passing waves. What remains is your awareness. If you watch carefully, life never holds a single mood for long. One moment laughter erupts like sunlight, the next moment grief arrives like a heavy storm. The mind often believes that joy is permanent and sorrow is unbearable, but both are transient. They rise, they fall, they vanish, and new waves take their place. Just as the ocean does not disappear because waves come and go, your being does not vanish when emotions change. What remains constant beneath every rise and fall is your awareness, the silent witness that sees all without being swept away. Most people are caught in the illusion that they are the waves themselves. When joy comes, they cling to it desperately, fearing its end. When sorrow arrives, they resist, cry, or curse life for being unfair. In this clinging and resisting, they forget that neither joy nor sorrow is meant to stay. Both are visitors, passing through the house of your mind. If you identify with them, you suffer. If you witness them, you understand their fleeting nature, and they lose their power to enslave you. Think of the sky. Clouds may gather, storms may rage, rains may fall, and sometimes the sky is clear and full of light. Yet, the sky itself is never damaged by the weather. Similarly, your awareness is like the sky. Thoughts, emotions, and moods are like the weather. They can cover, disturb, or brighten your inner atmosphere, but they cannot alter the fundamental vastness of who you are. The problem arises when you mistake the clouds for the sky itself. Joy is beautiful but fragile. It comes when conditions align. success, love, comfort, or recognition. Sorrow arises when those conditions break apart: loss, rejection, failure, or uncertainty. If your sense of self depends on these shifting conditions, then your life becomes a restless pendulum, swinging between highs and lows. But if your center lies in awareness, you stand in the middle, unmoved, watching the pendulum swing without being dragged to either side. This does not mean you become cold or indifferent. It means you experience joy without clinging and sorrow without drowning. Every wave teaches something. Joy teaches gratitude, the ability to appreciate life's sweetness. Sorrow teaches humility, the depth of compassion, and the impermanence of all things. But beyond both, awareness teaches freedom. When you realize that you are the one who observes joy and sorrow, you stop being enslaved by their comings and goings. A witness does not fight with the wave. A witness simply allows it to rise and fall. Consider how many times your life has changed states. As a child, small things made you happy: sweets, toys, a kind word. Small things also brought tears: a broken toy, a harsh word, a scraped knee. As you grew, the objects of joy and sorrow changed, but the pattern remained the same. The wave kept rising and falling. Yet the awareness that saw your childhood happiness and sadness is the same awareness that sees your adult struggles today. The witness within you has not aged, has not changed, and has not been broken by what has passed. The difficulty is that most people build their lives on the hope of holding on to joy forever. They chase achievements, relationships, possessions, believing these will provide permanent satisfaction. But permanence is not the nature of the wave. You cannot freeze a wave in midair. You cannot make joy stay longer than its nature allows. The same is true for sorrow. You cannot push it away before its time. Both will run their course, and the more you struggle, the more exhausted you become. When you learn to simply observe, a profound freedom arises. You may feel joy, but you do not cling. You may feel sorrow, but you do not collapse. You allow life to flow as it must. This does not make you passive. It makes you alive in a deeper way. Because when awareness is steady, joy is richer and sorrow is softer. You taste joy without fear of losing it. You endure sorrow without fear of being destroyed. This understanding is not just philosophical, it is practical. Imagine you succeed in something you deeply desired. The joy is real, but if you cling to it, the fear of losing it immediately enters. Now imagine you fail in something important. The sorrow is real, but if you resist it, the pain deepens into despair. In both cases, clinging and resisting are what create suffering, not the wave itself. Awareness is the space in which you experience both fully without bondage. Life's waves will never stop. No matter how much you try to control circumstances, change is the law of existence. Relationships shift, health shifts, fortunes shift, even your own body shifts every moment. If you depend on these for stability, you will always be restless. But awareness does not shift. It is the background, the silent presence, the unchanging witness. To live rooted in awareness is to finally find a ground that cannot be taken away. When you sit quietly and watch your mind, you begin to notice the waves more clearly. A thought arises, stays for a moment, and disappears. Another emotion comes, stays, and fades. If you do not interfere, everything flows. The more you watch, the more you realize you are not the thought, you are not the emotion, you are not the wave. You are the awareness in which all of this dances. This realization dissolves fear, for you see that nothing can truly harm the witness. Joy and sorrow will continue to rise and fall. They are the poetry of life, the ebb and flow of existence. To deny them is to deny life itself, but to be lost in them is to forget who you are. The balance lies in living both fully while resting in awareness. The true miracle of life is revealed only when you are fully present. Presence means you are not living in the shadows of yesterday or the projections of tomorrow. You are here, awake, attentive, open to what is unfolding in this very moment. Most people spend their lives lost in the noise of memory and imagination. They replay the past endlessly, reliving regrets or clinging to moments of glory, and at the same time they project into the future, worrying about what might happen or dreaming about what they want to achieve. In this constant movement between past and future, they miss the only place where life actually happens. Now, when you are present, even the simplest experience becomes luminous. Drinking a glass of water becomes a profound act. You taste it, you feel it, you are refreshed by it. Walking down a street becomes alive with details. The sound of footsteps, the texture of the air, the play of light and shadow. Listening to another person becomes an act of deep connection because you are not distracted by your own thoughts. You are fully there. The miracle is not in extraordinary experiences, but in ordinary moments being lived with extraordinary awareness. The mind often believes that miracles are rare events, something outside the natural order, something supernatural. But the real miracle is that life itself exists, that you can breathe, feel, see, hear, love, and be conscious of it all. Billions of processes are happening in your body this very second, keeping you alive without your effort. The universe is vast, yet somehow you are here experiencing it. If you are truly present, this realization can leave you in awe. But when the mind is scattered, chasing one thought after another, you overlook this miracle as if it were nothing. Presence is not something to be achieved in the future. It is a shift in attention. When you bring your awareness to what is happening now, you discover a depth that is always available but often hidden. Think of a child. They look at the world with wonder because they are not burdened by layers of thought. A butterfly, a puddle, a falling leaf. Everything amazes them. As adults, people lose this quality not because life has become dull, but because they are rarely present enough to see it. The habit of postponing life is strong. People say, "I will be happy when I reach this goal, when I have this house, when I find this relationship, when I achieve this status." They wait for life to happen, but life is not waiting. It is flowing breath by breath, moment by moment. While the mind is busy constructing the future, the present slips away unnoticed. Presence breaks this cycle. It reminds you that nothing is missing right now, that this moment is complete in itself. When you are fully present, even difficulties transform. Pain is sharper when resisted, but when observed with awareness, it becomes just another sensation, something to witness rather than fear. Stress weakens when you are not lost in what-if scenarios, but are simply dealing with what is here. Presence does not remove challenges, but it changes your relationship with them. Instead of being trapped in endless mental stories, you meet reality directly, and reality is always manageable in the moment it arrives. Presence also deepens relationships. Most conflicts and misunderstandings arise because people do not listen. They are half absorbed in their own judgments, ready with replies, distracted by their own mind. To be present with another person is to set all that aside and give them your full attention. Such presence is rare, and it is often felt as love. You don't have to say much. Being fully here is enough to touch another heart deeply. The true miracle of life cannot be stored in memory or anticipated in imagination. It is always immediate. The rustle of leaves, the beating of your heart, the vastness of the sky above you, the breath entering and leaving your body, these are not small things. They are doorways to the wonder of existence, but only if you are present. If your attention is elsewhere, even the grandest moments will pass unnoticed. If your attention is here, even the smallest moment reveals infinity. To be present is to live without division. Your body is here, your mind is here, your heart is here. You are not fractured between what was and what could be. You are whole, and in that wholeness, life reveals itself in its purest form. This is not about escaping the world, but about entering it fully. Presence does not take you away from life. It immerses you completely in it.